Good morning. It is November the 16th. Half a month is gone. Man, time does fly, doesn't it? Start with a disclaimer. Hypothetical simulated performance results have certain limitations, unlike an actual performance record. Simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, results may have under or overcompensated for the impact of any of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representations being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Well, I put an article up there. They used to, I forget what it was, Darwinism, where you natural selection is getting rid of the people whose IQs were in the lower half of the bell curve. And this Australian diplomat at the UN was ripped and playing the trust me game, and it didn't work. I mean, it just, here you are buzzed or drunk, knowing if, as the case might be, standing on a railing 7 stories up, and you wonder why or how you could fall and slip to your death. So anyway, that guy's gene pool has been eliminated from the population, and maybe that'll work for the good later on down the road. We do live in interesting times, don't we? Hey, it is November the 16th. Time to kick off another trading day. Equities are up, and treasuries are down. Gold was sideways. So the inverse relationship continues and is likely to do that today. Looking at this, we've got a seller above 25.08. We've got a buyer against 24.16. So we have 3/4 of a point range right now. I've got a B behind me. I've got a couple of distributions lower. I've got B's right here. Probably best support is 16 to 20. Might take a 25 to get off along. We're trying for a little cheaper, so 17 to 21 buy 1, 9 to 13 buy 2. On the sell side, 27s to 31s. I'd like to get it done against the buck. I mean, that's just the way we roll. I'm a seller at 31, Charles. Oh, me too. So we'll see what happens. Be dependent on equities continuing to sell today. Jobless claims 235. Nobody pays attention to that. Philly Fed 25. People will pay attention to that. The Empire Index missed by over 5 points. This number could come in lower. Import prices up 0.4. Export prices up 0.1. It's the price of crude oil right there that is driving that up. Industrial production up 0.5%. That one might come in lower. Seems a little generous. Plus 0.3% on manufacturing. Capacity utilization 76.3. And net gas inventories minus 15B. Forgot the housing index at 67. So industrial production, Philly Fed is direction of the Emini. I think those are the 3 factors today that we'll have to live with. And right now the Emini is pointed higher, so we like the sell side first. Well, it was really, really nice yesterday. The temperature was just under 60. But what you notice, or what I notice when I go out, is that heat is no longer being added to the atmosphere. Heat is leaving you. And in the summer, heat is being added to the atmosphere. And there's just a different feel about it out there. There's always that little tinge of cold, or at least to me. That tells me that the seasons have changed. Okay, resistance right here, 24 to 28 for sure. We'll make it 20 to 24. We're selling 27s to 31, sell 1. selling 3 to 7, sell 2. On the buy side, 12 to 16, 5 to 9, buy 1. Anybody else having this problem? Because I've got it on mine. Anybody else not seeing the ZB screen? Buy 2, 29 to 01. All good. Okay, well, maybe you'll have to re-enter the room there, Charles. Sorry. Rich, I found some music for you the other day. I'll try to get it along your way. Send me your email. Maybe off your beaten track. Okay, gold was unchanged when I looked at it early this morning. I take it the humidity is really low where you live right now, Scott. And you see the ice crystals. Yeah, I bet it is colder up there. It is that time of year though for you guys. I guess you never get used to it. Okay, gold's pretty quiet. You can see this high volume area right here. Definitely a buyer against 70 as it stands right now. So 65 to 70 is pretty good support, and 85 to 90 is resistance, and we're right here in this high volume area. So I'm going to play for a little. Let's play for 70 to 72. I mean, volumes here. Volume is equal. If I put all of this together, I'm looking at a B. So maybe a little lower, 70 to 72. We'll put a question mark at 75. Cheap Charlie. Um, 79.81, sell 1. It is resistance. 84.86, sell 2. Yeah, I was out running the dog. I have a brand new backyard. The city has come in and put a fence around the perimeter of the water reservoir, which happens to be buried. And I live just right up next against the reservoir. So I've got this beautiful, probably 2.5 acres of open field to go out there and run my dog with. I'll let him run himself. And it's gonna. I'm just gonna leave the back door when they get all the construction finished. I'm gonna leave the back gate open and see how Henry handles it. But he's playing me. Last night after I went out and played with him for about an hour, I'm sitting there. Well, maybe I don't have to walk him tonight, right? No way. At 7:30, Henry is sitting right in front of me, staring at me, big grin on his face, and when I don't pay attention to him, he gives me a little yip to make sure that I know that I'm taking him for his evening walk, no matter what. Then I cuss under my breath and tell him that he's spoiled and take him for his walk. Okay, we had a 1775 coming in last night. Buy 1. 1750. Buy 2. I still don't understand. I haven't read anything to explain the rally fundamentally that we had in the euro. 90 to 118 even, sell 1. 1815, 1825, sell 2. So if anybody else has a fundamental explanation for why that sharp rally in the euro, I'd appreciate it. Rich Moss, send me your email address and I'll send you a couple of new jazz things I've discovered. I'm saxophone oriented, and blues minor modal jazz is my favorite genre. Don't know what yours is, but might be able to share some ideas. Crude oil. Most of the discussion overnight was record U.S. production. United States will be the biggest or the major factor in the crude oil market from here on out. I don't know. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But anyway, that's what the news was talking about. So right here, 50 to 75. Sell 1. 56, 56 and a quarter. Sell 2. And last night we were at 50 to 75, so that's exactly where we were last night. On the buy side, we were at 54, 75, 55. That looks reasonable. Try to pick this up. And then 54 and a quarter, 54.50 buy 2. Okay, the Emini. We got a seller 85 to 90, and we've got a buyer 65 to 70. All the news was, 7 days of selling in the world indexes, 5 days in Europe. I think we had 4 days in the United States. The passage of Trump's tax bill is close in the House today. Behind the scenes, the Senate and the House are getting closer to each other's bill, so that's got some looks like it's going to get passed pretty close to where they are. I'm going to put a question mark here at 75. Everything is pointed higher, so we'll play for 79s, 81s, 84, 86s, sell 2. On the buy side, we're at 74. They do make us pay up, so 70 to 72. I think we're going to trade a little higher this morning. And then 65 to 67. I think the news focus is Philly Fed. Forecast at 25 could come in lower. Industrial production up 0.5%. That seems a little high based on the recent economic news, but that's where it is. Manufacturing industrial production up 0.3. That's what they'll be looking at. And then news associated with the tax bill. And there's a chance that the House passes it today. Okay, it's going to take me a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy with that. I'll be with you as soon as possible.